It's not money. Welcome back to another episode of the Better Forging Humans podcast. A little mouthy, a little wordy, but I like it. It kind of defines what we're all about here. We've talked about it in numerous episodes. In every episode that we have, we're talking about what we do and what we try to do as a team here at Iron Legion to forge each individual that we come across into a better human, should they want that. And you should want that. Along that path, we met Casey Allen. Casey Allen came into Iron Legion, God man, it's probably 9 years ago, 10 years ago probably.
A little over 10, yeah.
Yeah, over 10 years ago. And he came on as a coach early on, and dude was 10 years ago, so how old were you then? Like
27.
27, still full of fire. That's the one thing that I remember the most about Casey, and I still joke about it a lot because I've watched him mature a lot over these years. So like, if you look, I mean, where was I? Like, that's 10 years ago. I'm 49 now, so 39. So I was getting ready to be 40. So I had a little bit of age, and I was starting to slow a bit and start to get that wisdom, right? That wisdom. Casey was still full of that fire, like all that raw, chaotic fire. But he also, I could tell that he was kind of destined for something. And I think he was still at that point trying to figure out what that destiny was. And as we all are, I think we probably seek out that purpose most of our life, what our destiny is. We have a broad idea and we refine it as we move through life. So what I noticed early on was his true passion was, you know, it was fiery, it was chaotic, but it was helping people in some way, shape, or form. And I think he was trying to find the best avenues to help people. And at that time, he was doing it through a coaching aspect. He was an excellent artist and graphic designer. Some of the stuff that I saw him produce, you could really see the care and attention to detail that this guy had. You can see it in his art. And that's, you can really see it in a coach. After a few years, you can start to see that artistry as well. I mean, in each of us that are service-oriented or any of that type of stuff, you know, we look at our careers as art as well, too. But because of the chaos and the fire, sometimes you can't quite see through it, but you could see it in his artistry. When he laid pen to paper or worked on graphical work on the computer, you could see that this dude had something, that he has a story to tell. So, and he had a path that he was on, and he has a bit of that artistic piece that I think everyone that becomes an excellent coach, an excellent leader, and an excellent something along the lines is they need that artistic expression. So, not that I'm not putting you too high on the pedestal, but
yeah, please don't.
Yeah, you're welcome. He moved over, he briefly left for a little bit to really pursue a career in firefighting. So I was kind of surprised by it. His potential was super vast at the time. I might have even been a little bit downtrodden on it. I thought he was on the right path with the coaching. He took on the firefighting thing. I didn't really get it, but now I do. Getting to know Casey more and his wanting to help people piece has really come through on the firefighting aspect of it. He's not just a normal firefighter, something you can talk about. He's taken it to another level, I believe, as far as what division. I'm not a firefighter, but like you're not just your average firefighter. You've taken the extra steps to become a little bit more, and you can talk about that here in a second. But that type of stuff, during that tenure while he was gone, recreating himself in that, he did something that I really respect. Is he didn't sit here and talk about what he was going to do. He just fucking went and did it. And then when he came back, he had done it. So I have a lot of respect for that kind of action versus the person who blows up everybody's Instagram with I'm doing this and I'm doing that for likes and shares and shit, and then a month later they don't become anything, right? But you took the actual time, put the time in place, and then came back a better person because of it. And I believe now, with your firefighting skills, your graphic design skills, your coaching skills, you're really getting that like full trinity of being able to help people. So he's back on the team here. He's been back here in the gym now for pretty consistently for the last 2 years, training hard again, getting back at it and coaching and helping out on the coaching floor. But he's a pretty important piece of our community here, him and his wife both. And I'd say that they're part of our thread of who we are as Iron Legion. Their attitudes matter. A lot of people look up to the two of them. They're a big piece of our community. So when he approached me or us about creating an event, we were all about it, because the event that he wanted to create it's a charity fundraiser that was close to his heart. And I believe strongly, and I've always respected strong thinkers, strong people understanding their responsibility, not even seeing it as a responsibility, it's just a natural act for them to want to give back. And I see that in Casey, and I see that, when somebody wants to take their strength, take the things that they've learned, or take something that they have and then give back to their community and give back to their people, or give back to an organization or a cause that's deep, close to their heart, and then doing it properly, I think it needs to be backed up, and it needs to be respected, and we need to do it. So we all jumped on board, and we have a new event now that we have coming up. It's called the Brick City Battle. And I'll let Casey talk about it. I'll let him really get into it. But that's really what this podcast is about. I could do a whole podcast talking about Casey and what he's gone through, done, and all that. We could probably come back to that. I've probably done too much already. But I want to give him a minute to talk about his event. So first, introducing Casey. Second, let's talk about your event. You can actually kind of back out a little bit if you want to talk about how it happened, where it came from, and obviously give it the name and all that. But give it the details at the end. But go for it. You're up.
That was a very nice intro. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Like I've done a couple of these.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it and I didn't have to.
Well, I mean, it's easy to talk from the heart.
Yeah, definitely.
It sucks talking from some bullet point piece of paper.
Yeah,
anyway.
For sure. So yeah, this event is, like you said, something very near and dear to me. If you haven't watched my video, you probably should. It says a lot more about it. It's a lot more detailed, but basically, the reason why I started this event was because of my why. And my why is my family and my dad. Ooh, about to get emotional already, dang. It's a touchy subject just because it's been only a year since he passed. And but it wasn't even that year, it was just the years leading up to it. It was it's a progressive disease, Parkinson's is. It's a neurological disease that affects body movement, and whenever somebody's affected by it, they're not themselves anymore. So I always say I lost my dad probably like 10 years ago for the progressiveness of the disease. But anyway, he's my why. He's one of the driving factors, the reason why I do what I do, because there are so many people out there, like people that call 911 for the right reason. I can't say that, but everyone has their worst days and the reasons why they call 911. But we respond to people to help them, and it's easier for us to help people when we know that they need help. People who are living alone with diseases that they can't, do themselves. They can't get up to go to the bathroom, or they leave the hospital with equipment, and the hospital staff they give them zero information. So, what I want to do with this event is to properly prepare people who have been affected by the disease already, or who are about to go through this disease process, and let them know that there are avenues that they can take to prepare themselves mentally, physically, emotionally, because it takes a toll. So basically, I have literature from the Fixel Institute up in Gainesville. I have some but some resources coming from the Michael J. Fox Foundation, which is the main foundation that we're giving to. And they have a bunch of information that I'm going to display here for people who either are curious about it or are going through that disease themselves. Another thing is that this event has to do with firefighting as well, not only because I'm a firefighter, but it can give people who are in the job, the first responder job, or nurses or whatever, kind of an inside look on Parkinson's disease, because the problem is that when people run on Parkinson's patients, they don't understand the severity of it. And especially inside the hospital, my dad has been affected by it a lot, is you have to be on time with medications, and these nurses aren't educated, or the first responders are not educated. So because of that, it spirals these patients downward, and then they have a long way up, as opposed to them being on time with their medications and then being, having some continuity with how they feel and how they act. So a roundabout way, it's just me sharing access and resources to people who are afflicted by this disease or who are going through this disease with somebody that they know or love. Yeah.
It's awareness.
I don't know if that made any sense.
No, it does. It does. We do our Down for Donuts charity that's close to our heart with Down syndrome, and it's not that we're very we're not naive to the fact that a charity isn't going to cure something, right? You can't cure Down syndrome. Parkinson's might be something that along the lines maybe they can cure it, but I mean as of now it's not. But the best thing that we can do is in these instances, we need to take action because we're strong people and that's what we want to do, and we know that one of the actions that we can take is spreading awareness.
Exactly.
And we want to get awareness out there. What is that? Make people aware of what it is, what it's like. And you brought up a really good point. There's while nurses and high-level practitioners in their field might understand it, your first-line responders might not, when they approach something. And that's something we deal with Kira, too. We run into things with her where you have a regular general practitioner that's never really worked with Down syndrome before, and they just diagnose like a normal, healthy child, and it's like, well, I don't think that fucking works that well. So I think that's the point you're trying to get across. Right?
Oh, for sure, absolutely. Another big factor with this is the reason why I want to do something physical, like a physical event, is because I want physically able people to help people who physically cannot.
Right.
We have a duty as people who are capable, who are healthy, to help those who are not. Whether it be somebody that you love, whether it be somebody across the street or whatever. I mean, you don't have to, but I mean, inherently, I feel like humans are, driven to help people. So if you're a healthy person, if you're, knowledgeable in the health field, like, why would you not want to help somebody who cannot themselves?
Right.
So.
Fully agree. So you want to talk about the event? What's it about? What are we doing?
So the event is going to be on Saturday, December 16th, and it'll be a 2 workout and 1 floater style event.
What's a floater?
Floater is going to be something that's not scheduled. It's going to be throughout the event. Like, you can sign up for a time to do. It's a quick exercise. So it'll be a barbell complex that you can do within like 4 minutes. So after your heat, if you're feeling good, if you're feeling like you can, do a little bit more before the second heat, the second workout, then go ahead and get that floater out of the way. And that's going to either count towards extra points, or if there's like a tiebreaker, then maybe that can go towards the tiebreaker itself. But what I wanted to do for this event is I wanted to create movements that everybody can do. I didn't want to, alienate people by doing movements like muscle ups or handstand walks or handstand push-ups. There's a time and a place for that, but I feel like what I want to do for this event is I want basic movements and I want them to be challenging. Just so whenever people look at it, they're like, oh, I can do that. And then whenever they get into it, they're like, oh, this kind of sucks. But
The best kind of movements.
The best kind of movements. Yeah. The most simple movements.
Simple,
burpees
not easy.
Are one of the most simple movements ever, but they suck.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what my mentality was as far as programming the workouts themselves. Firefighter style movements is something that I was also trying to incorporate with it, just because it's different. The only other one that I can think of that does this is the 343 Hero Challenge down in Orange County, which they've done for I think 9 years now, and it's been a big event, a lot of camaraderie, and that's kind of what I want for my event, is just a sense of community, both with like the CrossFit community, healthcare community, firefighter community, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just want everyone to come together for one good reason, one good charity. But the firefighter aspect of it is like, we pick up people off the ground all the time, and they don't have handles. Like, it's like completely different from deadlifting. Like, you can deadlift a barbell all day long, but trying to maneuver somebody like dead weight That's something completely different. So training your body to be able to do that is something that firefighters need to do to be better at their jobs, to be efficient and more useful at their jobs. So I wanted to include that as well, meaning sandbags. Sandbags suck as well, but it's just a movement. I feel like it's just so simple and so effective with just life, period. So I wanted to add that in there as well. And I did add a little bit of a twist to it. Rolling up hose is somebody that has never, if somebody's never been in the fire service before, that's going to probably stump them, the most effective and easiest way. So thinking about it this way, like, attention to detail is going to be something that you need to focus on. Otherwise, your hose roll is going to look like shit. Can I say shit?
You can say shit. This is my podcast. We fucking cuss around here.
It's going to look like shit. So then later on in the workout, it's going to affect you. So that the tighter that you roll that hose, the more attention that you pay to it.
Let's talk about that hose, though. So I'm not a firefighter, but because I'm around you guys and I've seen your hose stuff. That's another firefighter joke, right? Literally,
it can be.
It can be a dick joke.
Sure.
The hoses aren't like your standard garden hose, and they're not like a hose you put on your car or your truck, right? It's like a 4.5 inch, almost 5 inch wide flat hose. Mm-hmm. It's got like a nylon casing around the outside of it, or like a really textured, heavy casing. It's probably rubber on the inside, so it's heavy. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of, I wouldn't say cumbersome because it is flat, but if you're rolling it up, right? I mean, if
it becomes cumbersome.
Yeah, it becomes cumbersome. So
Absolutely.
It's not so much that you're reeling a hose reel to roll up your hose or set up a hose. Like, it's a long, flat section of something that's relatively heavy. Mm-hmm. It's got grip on it, but it's just different, right? So there's a lot of challenge in it. There's finger work in it. There's balance and coordination. It's kind of cool. I like that was something that was added into it.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah. It makes people think. It's not going to be like a, put your head down and go kind of thing. Like, you got to think about what you're doing first and then you move. That's similar to firefighting. You got to think before you move. Obviously, you can go into the black or whatever as long as you would like, but if you're not conscious of what's going on and you're not like going back to your training, then you're not doing what you need to be doing.
Staying focused.
So staying focused is one of the biggest things. So it's supposed to be cumbersome. It's supposed to be heavy. It's supposed to be something that you think about. But just to let you guys know that before the workouts themselves, I'll have a hose laid out for you so you can practice rolling the hose. So you're not just going at it first time.
So let's talk about the actual structure. Like, you created 2-person teams. What's the significance of 2-person teams? I know typically when we do 2 or 3-person teams on our events, I try to create and couple skills like gymnastics and strength and speed. So I'll have a 3-person team. So that way, when I watch like 3 strong guys get on a team, I just laugh like uncontrollably, because they're gonna die in one of my competitions. Your team has to be more
They die.
But yeah, that's really like my own like fun thing. But is there a reason behind the 2-person team?
Yes, there is a reason behind the 2-person team. So the reason why is because basically when things get difficult, you want to rely on somebody else, it would be nice to rely on somebody else to get through whatever difficult situation that you're in. Like going into Parkinson's patients, things will get difficult because they cannot do things themselves. So to help them progress through life, through their day, somebody has to help them, their teammate. So that's kind of more or less the reasoning why I wanted to have a team-based event, because I want people to rely on each other. When things get difficult during one round of a workout, the other person can tag in. I see that you're struggling right now, so let me tag in and help you out. So
that's cool. I like that aspect. There was another thing we were going to talk about too.
Yes, the foundation.
Yeah, the touching points.
Yeah, the touching points.
I'm uncomfortable with touching points. I don't think they're those kind of touching points, but let's move on.
No. Just like Down for Donuts, all proceeds are going to go to a charity. So this event specifically is going to go towards the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's research. No, there is not a cure for Parkinson's right now, but they're spending millions of dollars in research right now to figure out, you know, how to just basically help patients progress through this disease, you know, a little bit better than they did a year before that. But they're spending a lot of money and a lot of time on Parkinson's specifically. So that's, from what I understand, and I've spoken with a few people who are in the professional realm for Parkinson's or for neurological diseases, they say nothing but good things about the Michael J. Fox Foundation. So I'm glad that I picked that one to give to. So that's where all the charity proceeds are going to go to for this event, is Michael J. Fox Foundation.
Okay, so we have details like your normal bullet point details: date, time, where they can sign up. Do they have to do the event to donate? That type of stuff.
So you do not have to do the event to donate. There are links in both my Instagram, Facebook. There is an event page on the Iron Legion website. If you want to, you can just DM me on either social media platform or text me. I don't really care. And I can send you the link for the donation page, and that goes directly to the Michael J. Fox Foundation website. So no, you don't have to participate. I think it'd be fun to participate. You know, I like to suffer a little bit for a good cause. That's just me.
We have listeners that you're going to be reaching that are outside of Ocala that may not be able to come, but are probably
that too.
Could, you know, this could be something close to their hearts they want to donate to. So I think the easiest way would be to go to the Iron Legion website, and you can find the Brick City Battle in our events page, and then kind of all the links and all that stuff is there. If you're local, right? What the fuck does that mean?
I want to say something.
Go ahead.
What about what kind of vendors are you gonna have, and like your event T-shirts?
Oh, event T-shirts. I'm pretty pumped about the T-shirts. So the T-shirts I designed, and the basic design was kind of like a tattoo inspired design, because I really just like tattoo art period. So those T-shirts are actually just printed now. I just got a text from Bill saying that they just got printed. But those are also on the website or on the Instagram page or on the Facebook page. And again, all those proceeds are going to go to the foundation.
Cool.
What was the other question?
Vendors.
Oh, vendors. Yeah. So I have a mishmash of different vendors, only because the people that have wanted to become vendors have been affected in some way, shape, or form by Parkinson's. So I think it's great, like, local companies have come to me and say, you know, I really appreciate you doing this event because my father has it, or my grandfather has it, or had it, or whatever. So these vendors are all local, and it ranges from like a rehab facility to coolers to pest control. You know, a bunch of different things, a bunch of different avenues for local businesses.
But who are they? Who do you have right now? Who can they
So,
see here?
I have Stanley Pest Control. PJ is one of our athletes here. He comes pretty consistently. Super good dude. Let's see, another one is going to be Kyle from Eco Outfitters. He sells coolers, cups, kayaks now, blow-up paddle boards. Another one is going to be Noel from and I don't even know how to say the word.
I would just call it Florida Physical Therapy Office. Florida
That's the
Vestibular.
one.
She's got a long name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's physical therapy.
She's super cool.
Yeah, super cool, super nice. She was, I think, one of the ones who came to me and wanted to donate and give back by being here as a vendor. So she's been very pleasant to talk to and work with. So she's also one of the ones that's going to come up here. And I believe she's going to have a booth where she will be able to do some sort of physical therapy or massage or something. So.
Great pest control.
And Gray Pest Control, yeah. So my cousin, he owns an umbrella company of a bunch of different businesses, but the one that he's going to be using is Gray Pest Control. So another pest control company. Coincidence? Maybe. maybe not. Maybe people just need more pest control. I don't know.
This is Florida, man. We got a lot of bugs.
I know. But yeah, obviously his family, he's been affected by this as well, so he was definitely happy to help. And then also JAB Sports, which is Bill Rivera and his family, they do t-shirt printing and amongst other things for events, and they've been doing printing for us since they've been here.
11 years.
For a long time, and they put out quality work too. You know, this is not his main job. His main job is something completely different, but he goes home and does this on the side because he enjoys doing it. He enjoys helping. Let's see, another one is HD printing, which they helped out with tremendously in printing flyers, postcards, big posters, which we obviously need for advertising. Although sometimes people look at it and look away and don't really think about it, but plenty of seeds, so helpful in one way, shape, or form. But they've been very helpful as well.
December 16th.
December 16th.
Registration's still open.
Yep. Registration's still open. I believe we're going to keep it open until Wednesday of next week because we have to get everybody's team in for Box Tribe so they can do a little calculation for all the heats and heat times. I still need a few more volunteers for judging.
Call out for volunteers
If
on the podcast.
you're not doing anything and want to do something nice for me and for the gym and for Parkinson's people. Wait, what do you hate? Parkinson's people?
Right.
Come on.
Right. That's what we always
But
say.
if you're available and can give a few hours, I mean, that would be very, very helpful. Plus, just being at the event is going to be awesome. It's a lot of good energy. It's always a lot of good energy, no matter what it is.
I'd say a lot of the events that we've done here at Iron Legion, especially when they're charity, I think it's a running joke that I always say the best part of an event is the end of it. That's my own little inside joke because it's over, right? But there's also that moment when everyone's gone, and we talk about that energy, right? And that energy hangs out for a little while after an event. It's really cool to just sit in silence for a minute after something like that, and you think about the amount of people that came for that cause. They came for that particular moment, that charity, that same reason that put the fire in your heart to create it, and you just witnessed it, and you saw them giving everything to it. I love that moment afterwards, you know, that minute or two when you're just kind of sitting in the gym and it's complete silence, everything's put away, and you can still just feel the reverberation of the event itself. I think is such a fucking cool thing. And then, you know, then it's the administrative part about giving the monies out, moving, all that type of stuff. But like, there's that moment where you're like, I fucking did something.
Yeah.
Something of purpose, something of value, and it's just a big change. And I think that's such a cool thing too. And maybe it's a little bit self-rewarding, but it's also like I did something, right? A lot of people don't get the opportunities to do something, or they don't take that minute to realize that they can do something if they just take a step in the right direction and do it, and align themselves with a team of people that are just equally minded and that can do some really cool shit. So I appreciate that you started the event. I'm really looking forward to it going. I think it's going to be a success. So our first year doing it, so I'm really looking forward to seeing all you guys come out. If you can volunteer, great. Let us know. If you want to sign up, registration is still open, and if you want to donate, go to the site, and there's plenty of links there to do it. But we're running out of time on this one. I don't want to keep on going. We're going to bring Casey back in the future. We'll talk a little bit more with Casey on other stuff. Maybe after the event, we can do like a little breakdown of how it went, that type of shit, and then kind of go from there if you want.
Yeah, that would be
fun. But that was our most recent episode of the Forging Better Humans podcast, and we are out. See y'all December 16th. I'm out. I gotta go.
I'll be
Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry, I had to